Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're talking about the Mars transit into Taurus in July 2024. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me and the channel to be notified whenever I release a new video. Be sure to hit the notification bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Alright, so, first off, we read transits from your Ascendant, your Moon, and your Sun signs. Your Vedic Sidereal signs. Reason being, Ascendant is your life path. Moon is your mind, your emotions. Sun is your soul, just on a base level. So, we read from these 3 points to get the full picture. So make sure that you watch all 3. Now, if you don't know your Vedic Sidereal placements, you can look up a Vedic Sidereal birth chart calculator online, or get a much more detailed birth chart from my website, which will be linked in the description box and the comments below. Alright, but these are not your Western tropical placements, so keep that in mind. Now, Mars will be transiting into Taurus July 12th, and it will be there until August 26th. Alright, so we're jumping right into this with Aries, like always. So Aries, for you, Mars is moving into your second house of Taurus. Now, Mars is your energy and your drive. Second house is your family, your earnings, your savings, your speech. So here we see Mars is in the second house with Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So here, there will be conflict with the family. Massive conflict because it's with Jupiter. Jupiter is expanding this. Now, what will that conflict be about? Well, it could be related to philosophical or religious beliefs, because Jupiter represents these things. But on the flip side, here we see there's a rapid expansion of money as well. Second house is your earnings and your savings. Now, Mars in the second house also has you spend money on essentials. Mars is a soldier. Mars needs food and shelter. That's what Mars cares about. So, you will be spending money, but Jupiter in the second house of finances, expanding your finances, expanding your family. You could even find out somebody in your family is having a child or getting married, while Mars and Jupiter are conjunct in your second house in Taurus. So, will there be conflict with the family? Yes. Will you make more money? Yes. Could family also expand? Yes. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on your 5th house. Well, 5th house is children. So once again, there could be an expansion of the family through somebody having a child. But 5th house is also romance. You want romance during this time. 5th house is speculative gains, education. So, you also want speculative gains. Of course, Mars is energizing the house of money. You want money during this time. So this could be speculative gains through gambling, through stock market, through business. Or even through gambling. Like I said. I don't know why I'm repeating myself so much. But, here you can also have a strong desire to succeed in your education as well. But this can also show conflict with children, because you are being too over-domineering. So, be careful with that. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation, and that's falling on your 8th house. 8th house is your in-laws. So, if you don't want conflict with your in-laws as well as your family, try to keep it to a minimum. But this shows there can definitely be conflict with your in-laws as well. Now, 8th aspect of Mars brings sudden ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your ninth house. Ninth house is your father. Father figures, teachers, mentors, gurus. Ninth house is long distance travel, pilgrimage, higher education. It's your philosophy, your religion. So there can be a sudden change with your father, a father figure, a teacher. There can be sudden travels that you go on. There can be a sudden change of your beliefs or your religious views, your philosophies. Alright, that's what I have for you though, Aries. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So, Mars has moved into your first house. Mars is energy and drive. It's conjunct Jupiter, Jupiter's expansion. So here you're going to have an overwhelming amount of energy. Mars in the first house makes someone feel like they're superhuman. But with Jupiter there, yeah, this is going to be ridiculous. You're going to have too much energy. You're going to struggle to even know what to do with it. But Mars can also cause accidents, cuts, burns, bruises. So be careful. Now with Jupiter, it's more positive than usual though. So definitely, this is a good time to work out, get in good shape, be physically active. You will have the energy to do what you want to do. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars though. Mars has a fourth aspect of conquest falling on your fourth house. So fourth house is your home, land, real estate, vehicles, your mother, your comfort, and your happiness. Here you are going to be overly controlling when it comes to your home, when it comes to your car, when it comes to your mother. You want to be in charge of these areas of life right now. You want to take control over what's going on in the home. So, people in your home could find you overbearing during this time. But this is good for, getting a car, getting a home. Now, seventh aspect is confrontation. It's falling on the seventh house. Seventh house is relationships. Seventh house is your business partner. Seventh house is the masses. So here we see there can be a lot of conflict in relationships and business with the people you meet in the world. Now, the eighth aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on your eighth house. So, eighth house is joint finances and relationships and business. Eighth house is your in-laws. Eighth house is the occult and research. It's wills, estates, legacies, inheritance, death, sun ups and downs, transformation. So here we see there can be sudden changes with your in-laws, with your joint finances. There could be a sudden inheritance even. Sudden changes with your research if you're involved in research. But definitely we see sudden transformative events taking place. Alright, that's what I have for you though, Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Alright, so, Gemini. Here, Mars has moved into your 12th house in the sign of Taurus with Jupiter. So, Mars is your energy and drive. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. 12th house is spirituality. Jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated. 12th house is foreign lands, foreign people. 12th house is losses of all kinds, including financial. 12th house is investing, because you have to temporarily lose money to make money when you invest. So, Mars is energizing this house. One, you'll see you have more of a sex drive. As a matter of fact, with Jupiter, Jupiter is expansion. That will be expanded. But this will also disturb your sleep, because Mars is having you be too active when you're trying to go to sleep. 12th house is also our subconscious mind. You won't be able to wind down. Now, this will also increase your losses. Mars is energizing the house of losses right now. So there will definitely be more losses. You'll be spending more money. And this is being expanded by Jupiter. Don't think Jupiter here is going to make this better. It's going to make it worse. You'll be spending even more than you would otherwise do. But this is very good for spirituality. Very good for foreign travel. But there can be conflict with foreign people, because Mars is conflict. You could have conflict over religious and philosophical disagreements, because Jupiter represents these things. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on the 3rd house. Well, 3rd house is 12th from the 4th house. It's the furthest place away from your homeland. So, we see 3rd house represents travel, especially foreign travel. 3rd house is travel of all kinds. But for those that are traveling to foreign places, yes, we clearly see that with this. But 3rd house is also your younger siblings. It's your cousins, it's your neighbors. You can be overly domineering with these people. 3rd house is self-efforts, communication of all kinds, including writing. 3rd house is sports, art. So we see you want to conquer these areas of life. You want to achieve something here. Now, Mars also has a 7th aspect of confrontation. 7th aspect is the relationship aspect of any planet. So that's falling on your 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. 6th house is your coworkers, your enemies. So you can get into conflict with these people during this time. So you need to be careful. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is about sudden ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your 7th house. So here we see relationships, business partner. These are being transformed during this time. You could have a relationship that suddenly ends. You could have a relationship that suddenly begins. There could be a transformation in your business. There could be a transformation of your relationship. Maybe your relationship becomes committed. Maybe you get a business partner. These are the kinds of things that you can see happening here. But alright, so what I have for you, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer. Mars has moved into your 11th house in the sign of Taurus. Mars is your energy and drive. And it's there with Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So, 11th house is your elder sibling, your friends, your network circle, large organizations. It's your paternal aunts and uncles. It's your hopes, wishes, desires. It's stock market, financial gain. It's the gain of your status, because it's second from the 10th house of status. So we see here there can be conflict with your friends, with your elder siblings, with your paternal aunts and uncles. Because Mars is conflict. And this conflict could be massive because it's with Jupiter. Don't think Jupiter will make this better. Jupiter can make this worse. You can have religious and philosophical arguments and conflicts. Because that's what Jupiter represents. And Jupiter is expanding Mars here. Expanding that aggression. That fight. But for financial gain, this is very good. Your money is being expanded here. There can be massive gains here. Mars is giving you the energy and drive to fulfill your hopes, wishes, and desires. And Jupiter is expanding that energy and that drive to allow you to do that. Now, Mars has a 4th, 7th, and 8th aspect. So the 4th aspect of conquest is falling on your 2nd house. 2nd house is your family, your earnings, your savings. So here you can be overly domineering with your family. You want to be in charge. You want things your way with the family. But also, this is very good for money. Here you want to conquer the bank account. You want to conquer your savings. You want to conquer your money. So this is very good for making money. Now, the 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. That's falling on your 5th house. So 5th house is children, students, subordinates. It's your educational environment, so people that you deal with when you're receiving an education. So here we see you can get into conflict with these people. Be careful if you don't want that. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on the 6th house. 6th house is, well, first off, 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. The 6th house is accidents, health issues. It's your coworkers, your maternal aunts and uncles, your enemies, your pets. It's debt. It's your everyday work, everyday routines. It's service. So here we see this house is being transformed. There are changes here. So we see you could suddenly defeat an enemy. Or it can be a sudden change with an enemy. We see there can be sudden changes with your maternal aunts and uncles. You could suddenly get a pet. There can be changes with your coworkers, with your health. Alright, that's what I have for you, Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Leo, Mars is transiting into Taurus, your 10th house. Mars is your energy and your drive, and it's here with Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So Jupiter is expanding the qualities of Mars here. So we see you have a massive amount of energy and drive for your career, for your status. 10th house is also our karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, this house is still important. 10th house is your workplace. It's your managers, your bosses. 10th house is government, especially national government. So here we see Mars is conflict. You can get into conflicts in your workplace or with people in government. In particular, over religious and philosophical disputes, because Jupiter represents religion and philosophy. And spirituality. But this can be very good for achieving status in your career. Don't forget, Mars has directional strength in the 10th house. And Jupiter is expanding Mars' energy and drive to achieve something. To achieve fame and status. Now, Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on your 1st house. 1st house is you, your physical health, your body. You want to conquer you. You want to be a better you. You want to get in shape, work out, diet. You want to be better and stronger. You want to be more disciplined. Mars is giving you the energy to do that. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. It's falling on your 4th house. 4th house is your mother, the people in your home. You can get into conflicts with these people. Be careful. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your 5th house. 5th house is romance, fun and games, children, students, subordinates. 5th house is speculative gains through business, through stock market, through gambling. 5th house is sports and creativity. 5th house is politics. 5th house is education. 5th house is also 8th from the 10th house, meaning it's the sudden change and transformation of your career and your status. So, here we see, there can be a change of job. If you want to change jobs, or if you know that's likely, then yes, this could show that. There can be a transformation when it comes to romance in your life. There could be a big change when it comes to speculative gains. There could be a change in your status. Maybe you're getting promoted. There could be big changes with children or suddenly having children. There can be changes, transformation of your education. These are things to be aware of. Alright, moving on to Virgo. Virgo. Mars and Jupiter are in your 9th house. So, Mars is your energy and drive. It's going to be in the sign of Taurus here. And it's conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So here, that energy, that drive is being expanded upon. But Mars is also conflict. So that's being expanded as well. So 9th house is your father figures. 9th house is your teachers, mentors, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's higher education beyond like a bachelor's degree. 9th house is long distance travel, pilgrimage. 9th house is your luck and fortune. So, here we see there's going to be conflict tied to the 9th house. You can get into conflicts, fights, arguments with your father figures, with your mentors, your teachers, with religious people, with philosophical people, with people involved in the law. And Jupiter is expanding this. Don't think this will be a minor conflict. Jupiter is also religion and philosophy, so these can be religious and philosophical disputes that you have with people. But this also shows a lot of energy for travel, a lot of energy for your education. Here, your luck and fortune is being energized. You have more luck during this period. So we see these things as well. If you want to publish something, now is a good time. Mars is giving you the energy to get that done. Now, Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on the 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex and sleep. It's spirituality. It's jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated. 12th house is foreign travel, foreign places, foreign people. 12th house is multinational companies. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. 12th house is also investing, because you have to temporarily lose money when you're investing in order to make money. So here we see you want to conquer these areas of life. You want to conquer bed pleasure, get more sleep, have more sex. You want to achieve your spiritual goals. Engage more in your spiritual practices. You want to travel to foreign, far-off places. Mars is allowing you to do that. But you can be overly domineering with spiritual people, with foreign people. And that can cause trouble. And hopefully you're not being over-dominating with people sexually. Please. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. And that's falling on your 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors, people online. So, you can get into conflicts with these people. You can be a little keyboard warrior. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't come at me in the comments. Now, 8th aspect of Mars is about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on the 4th house. 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's your comfort, your happiness. It's cars. So here we see there can be sudden changes with your mother or mother figures. There can be sudden changes and transformation with your home. Maybe you're renovating a home. Maybe you're getting a new home. You could be moving. You could be getting a new car or getting a car repaired. Alright, moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. So, Mars is transiting into Taurus, your 8th house. Mars is your energy and drive, and Jupiter is expansion. Well, 8th house. 8th house is a house of sex. 8th house is in-laws, joint finances, in business and relationships. 8th house is other people's money. 8th house is death, wills, estates, legacies, inheritance. 8th house is research and the occult. 8th house is psychological baggage. It's sun ups and downs and transformation. So here we see this house is being energized. And in a big way, because Jupiter is expanding that energy of Mars. So, you're going to have more energy. You're going to want more of a sex life. You'll have more energy to pursue your occult practices. To pursue your research. Here we see there can be massive conflicts with your in-laws. Especially tied to religious and philosophical disputes, because Jupiter represents these things. But this can be very good for obtaining joint finances in relationships and business. Here the house of other people's money is being energized. This can be good for obtaining inheritance. Obtaining an inheritance. There we go. But 8th house is also surgery. So here, if you know you need a surgery, this could be a good time to get one. Jupiter's here. Jupiter would help in that. I don't know, for some of you, maybe it's lung surgery or throat surgery or something. Because I can't stop coughing. Okay. I don't know, me being intuitive or me just having a dry throat. But, now let's talk about the aspects of Mars. So, Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest falling on the 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circles, large organizations. 11th house is your hopes, wishes, desires. It's the gain of your status because it's second from the 10th house. 11th house is stock market, financial gains. So here we see you want to conquer these areas of life. You can be overbearing with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your elder siblings, with your friends. You could want to be the head of a large organization, or just be in conflict with a large organization. Here you want to suddenly achieve your hopes, wishes, and desires. You want to gain financially. Mars is overbearing when it tries to conquer these areas. This is why this is the aspect of conquest. So for the people tied to this house, this won't be pleasant for them. But in the financial realm and gaining status, this is good. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. That's falling on your 2nd house. 2nd house is your family. So here we see there can definitely be conflict with your family. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on your 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings, your cousins, your neighbors. 3rd house is your self-efforts. 3rd house is 8th from the 8th house. It's the higher form of sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort is the 3rd house. 3rd house is sports. It's arts. It's travel of all kinds. Not just short distance travel, but also long distance travel. Because it's 12th from the 4th house. Furthest place from your homeland. So here we see you want to transform these areas of life. There could be sudden changes with your younger siblings, with your cousins, with your neighbors. There could be sudden changes in your sporting activities or in your art. 3rd house is also communication of all kinds, including writing. There can be sudden changes, sudden communication that comes in. 3rd house is also your skills. Maybe you're suddenly learning a new skill. But alright, that's what I have for you. Moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio. Mars and Jupiter. Well, Mars is transiting into your 7th house in Taurus. It's going to be conjunct Jupiter. So, Mars is your energy and drive. Mars is conflict. Jupiter is expansion. So here we see your energy and drive is towards relationships, business partnerships. The 7th house is the masses. This house is being energized. You're going to have more dealings with more people. Lots more people, because it's with Jupiter. So, for those that aren't in a relationship, now's the time you could get in one. You could start a new business partnership with this as well. Here we see you will get more clients for your business. Because Mars is energizing the house of business. Things are going to move. But here we see there can be conflict in relationships if you're already in one. On the flip side, there can also be passion in relationships. This is a double-edged sword. Love-hate relationship when Mars is involved. So, will there be passion? Yeah, there could be, but there will also be conflict. Be prepared. There can also be conflict with a business partner if you already have one. And Jupiter is expanding this. So everything I just mentioned will be expanded. It won't be minor. And Jupiter is here. Jupiter is religion and philosophy. So these disputes can be religious or philosophical. Now, let's talk about the aspects of Mars. Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on your 10th house. 10th house is your career, your status. 10th house is your workplace, your managers, your bosses. 10th house is government, especially national government. So here we see you want to conquer these areas of life. This can get you in trouble with the government, with your managers and your bosses, in your workplace. But this is good for obtaining status or achieving something in your career. 10th house is also your karmic actions that the world notices. So this is important even if you're retired or you don't have a job. Now, 7th aspect of confrontation is falling on the 1st house. 1st house is you. So here we see people are going to get into conflict with you. Be prepared. Things won't be easy. Now the 8th aspect of sudden ups and downs and transformation is falling on your 2nd house. 2nd house is your family. It's your earnings, your savings, your finances. So here we see there will be sudden changes with your family, with your money. Alright, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius. Alright, Sagittarius. Mars has moved into Taurus, your 6th house. Mars is your energy, your drive. Mars is conflict. It's conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So, 6th house. 6th house is health issues, accidents. 6th house is your workplace, your everyday work, everyday routines. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. It's debt. 6th house is your enemies. 6th house is service. So here we see Mars is energizing this house with Jupiter, expanding this. So one thing you need to be aware of, there will be enemies that you're going to get into conflict with. There will be massive conflict here. Also, you can take on considerable debt, especially while Mars is transiting here. Be aware of that. It can become too much because Jupiter is expanding this, making it even worse. There can be health issues and accidents. There can be conflict with your maternal aunts and uncles, with your coworkers. Conflict in your workplace. And especially the conflict with all these people can be tied to religious or philosophical disputes because Jupiter represents these things. Now, on a positive, this can show you have the energy to overcome your enemies. You have that energy and that drive to achieve something in your work as well. But also, this can be a good time to get a pet. We see that too. Now, the 4th aspect of Mars is about conquest, and that's falling on your 9th house. 9th house is your father and father figures. 9th house is your teachers, mentors, gurus. It's religion, philosophy, the law. It's publishing. It's long distance travel, pilgrimage. It's higher education, especially beyond a bachelor's degree. So, here we see you want to conquer these areas of life, these people in your life. You'll be overly domineering with your father figures, with your teachers. You'll want to conquer others when it comes to religious and philosophical beliefs. No, my beliefs are right, you are wrong. And that will cause conflicts. But for achieving something in your education, this can be very good. For traveling to far off places, this can be very good. For publishing something, this can also be good. Now, the 7th aspect of confrontation is falling on the 12th house. So, 12th house is foreign people, multinational companies. 12th house is also your hidden enemies. So here you can get into conflicts with these people. 12th house is also spiritual people. So you can get into conflicts with them as well. especially if you're having health issues. You can get into conflict with service workers like nurses, conflict with people like doctors, consultants, the 9th house. 12th house is hospitals. So yeah, you can get in conflict with medical professionals as well. Now, the 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. That's falling on the 1st house. 1st house is you, your physical health, your body. You are going to change during this transit in some way. Maybe you get in better health. Maybe your health suffers a little bit because you get sick or something, or you have an accident. After all, Mars is cuts and burns, and bruises, and broken bones. It's in the 6th house of accidents. Be careful. You don't want to get hurt. Hopefully this is you overcoming your health issues. Jupiter in the 6th house can be good for that with Mars. And finding that energy to work out, lose weight, get in better shape, to transform yourself and become a better you. At least physically. Now, moving on to Capricorn. Capricorn. So, Mars is transiting in your 5th house in Taurus. Mars is your energy and drive. Mars is conflict. It's conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is expanding all of this. So, 5th house is children, romance, fun and games. 5th house is education. 5th house is politics. 5th house is change of job, because it's 8th from the 10th house of career and status. So it can be sudden change and transformation of your workplace, your career, and your status. 5th house is creativity, art, sports. 5th house is speculative gains through business, through stock market, through gambling. So here we see all of this is being energized for you. So, you could be having a child during this time. Because Mars is energizing the house of children, conjunct Jupiter, significator of children, and expansion in the 5th house of children. You could begin a new romance. You'll have the energy and drive to pursue your education. After all, Jupiter is blessing this house. But there can be conflict with children, with students, with subordinates, with people in educational environments. And that conflict could be massive because it's being expanded by Jupiter. Jupiter's religious and philosophical beliefs. So, these conflicts can be tied to religion and philosophy. You can get in conflict with people over politics, too. If you're wanting to change a job, now's a good time. Or get a new job. Change your status for the better. Now's a good time. Now, the aspects of Mars. Mars has a 4th aspect of conquest falling on your 8th house. 8th house is your in-laws. It's your joint finances and relationships and business. It's other people's money. 8th house is death, wills, estates, legacies, inheritance. It's surgeries. It's sex. It's your psychological baggage. It's the occult. It's research. It's sun ups and downs and transformation. So here you want to conquer these areas of life. You want to transform something in your life. You want your in-laws to quit giving you so much shit. You want to achieve more joint finances. Especially if you're in business. This is a great time to make money through business. because Mars is in the house of speculative gain through business and is aspecting the 8th house of joint finances through business. This is your business earnings. This is a good time to get occult education. Psychological education could be good as well. To pursue your research. To have romance and a sex life. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. It's falling on the 11th house. 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circle, large organizations. You can get into conflicts with all these people. Be careful. Now, the 8th aspect of sudden ups and downs and transformation is falling on the 12th house. 12th house is bed pleasure, sex, and sleep. So once again, for sex, this is a very good transit. 12th house is spirituality. 12th house is jails, hospitals, asylums, monasteries, anywhere you feel isolated. 12th house is foreign people, foreign lands, multinational companies. It's losses of all kinds, including financial. It's investing, because to invest money, you're temporarily losing money to make money. So here we see there can be sudden changes. Maybe you're suddenly traveling to a foreign place. Maybe your spiritual beliefs are changing. Or maybe you're suddenly pursuing spirituality for the first time. Maybe you suddenly want to be isolated and alone. Maybe you're suddenly investing because you want those speculative gains. But alright, so what I have for you, Capricorn. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, 1 second. I need a drink. Okay. My throat's no longer dying. Alright. So, Mars has transited into Taurus. Mars is your energy, your drive. Mars is conflict. It's conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is religion, philosophy. Jupiter is expansion. So here we see you have energy and drive towards the 4th house. 4th house is your mother figures. It's home, land, real estate. It's vehicles, your car. It's your comfort and your happiness. So here we see you could get a new home, new car. You could be renovating a home or repairing a car. You could be buying new property. There could be a lot going on inside your home, especially with your mother. There could be a lot going on with her or your mother figures. But Jupiter is expanding this. There's a lot of energy, a lot going on within the home. But also, there's going to be a lot of conflict within the home. Jupiter is expanding that conflict of Mars. Mars is a soldier. Mars wants to cut and stab everything it's with. Kind of use everything as the enemy. So here we see you can get in conflict with people in your home, with your mother or mother figures. Now, the aspects, well, first off, those conflicts can be tied to Jupiter, can be tied to religious and philosophical beliefs. Now, the aspects of Mars. Mars is a 4th aspect of conquest, falling on the 7th house. So, 7th house is relationships, business partnership. 7th house is the masses, all the people out in the world. So, here we see you want to conquer these people, these areas of life. You want to start a relationship. Or you want to control the relationship. You want to control the business. You don't necessarily want to work on things with your business partner. You want to be the one in control. You can get into conflict with lots of people because you're being overly domineering. But this can be good for starting a relationship. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is about confrontation. That's falling on the 10th house. 10th house is your workplace, your managers, your bosses. 10th house is government. So here we see there can be conflict with these people. Be careful. Don't want to end up in hot water. Funny I say that in Scorpio, but alright. 8th aspect of sun ups and downs and transformation is falling on your 11th house. So, 11th house is your elder siblings, your paternal aunts and uncles, your friends, your network circle. 11th house is your hopes, wishes, desires. It's large organizations, if I forgot to mention that. 11th house is stock market, financial gain. So here we see there will be sudden changes with your elder siblings, with your paternal aunts and uncles, with your friends, with your network circle. You could lose a friend, make a new friend. Sudden changes in your desires. Suddenly gaining. Suddenly achieving those hopes, wishes, and dreams. Alright, that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Moving on to Pisces. Alright, Pisces. So, Mars is transiting into Taurus, your 3rd house. Mars is your energy and drive. Mars is conflict. And it's conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. So Jupiter is expanding all these qualities. Now the 3rd house. 3rd house is your younger siblings. Your cousins. Your neighbors. 3rd house is the internet. Media. Social media. 3rd house is communications of all kinds, including writing. 3rd house is travel. Both short distance and long distance. Long distance because 12th from the 4th house. It's the furthest place from your homeland. 3rd house is your self-effort. 3rd house is 8th from the 8th house. So it's the higher form of your sun ups and downs and transformation. Transformation through self-effort. 3rd house is your skills. 3rd house is sports. 3rd house is art. So here we see there's a lot of energy and drive towards this house. There can be a lot going on with your younger siblings, with your cousins, with your neighbors, with people online. There can be a lot of communication. Maybe you're getting involved in sports, being more artistic, more creative. Maybe you're learning new skills. There could be a lot of communication with a lot of people right now. But Mars is also conflict, and that is being expanded by Jupiter. There could be a lot of conflict with your younger siblings, with your cousins, with your neighbors, with people online. Especially when it comes to religious and philosophical views. Because Jupiter represents these things. But here we see, this is very good for learning new skills. For that sports activity, for writing. For your artistic pursuits. For putting forth all of that effort to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, the 4th aspect of conquest, 4th aspect of Mars, is tied to conquest. There we go. Is falling on the 6th house. 6th house is your maternal aunts and uncles. It's your pets. It's your enemies. It's your coworkers. Your everyday work, everyday routines. It's service. It's debt. It's health issues and accidents. Here, You want to conquer these areas of life. You can be overly domineering with your maternal aunts and uncles. Overly domineering with your pets. But this is good for defeating your enemies. You want to conquer your enemies. Mars is energizing the house of self-effort. You have the energy to put forth that effort and defeat your enemy. Here, Mars shows you want to conquer your debt. You don't want to be in debt anymore. To hell with that. We see you have the energy to conquer your work, to conquer your health issues. Now, 7th aspect of Mars is falling on the 9th house. 9th house is your father figures. It's your teachers, your mentors, your gurus. 9th house is religious people. People tied to the law. So, you can get into conflict with all these people. Because 7th aspect of Mars is about conflict. Fights, arguments. Now, the 8th aspect of Mars is falling on your 10th house. 10th house. Well, first off, 8th aspect is about sun ups and downs and transformation. 10th house is your career, your status. It's your workplace, your managers, your bosses. 10th house is fame. 10th house is your karmic actions that the world notices. So even if you're retired, this house is important. Or even if you don't have a job, this house is still important. So there can be sudden changes in your status, in your fame. There can be sudden changes in your career. Sudden changes with your managers, your bosses. Sudden changes within the workplace. Alright. But yeah, so that's what I have for all of you. And hopefully y'all have liked this video. Yeah, if you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me in the channel. And to be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the notification bell and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.